agenda for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be starting momentarily. If you would silence your phones and please have your seats. Let us stand, please. The Shreveport City Council meeting of July the 13th is now called to order. We will have our invocation by Councilman Fleury and our pledge by Councilman Corbin.
Let us pray. Our gracious, kind Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day. We thank you, O Lord, for the many riches that we experience here in this city and the many blessings. And we ask now that you guide and watch over this meeting, that we give us wisdom and knowledge. And Lord, we give you thanks for all things. In Christ's holy name, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. And for the record and for the minutes, Madam Clerk, I'm mistaken to say at the 13th meeting of the 12th.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So, Madam Clerk, you may call the roll.
Mr. Bradford,
Present.
Mr. Everson,
Here.
Mr. Jenkins,
Present.
Mr. Corbin,
present.
Mr. Fleury,
Here.
Ms. Lynch, Mr. Bowman.
Okay. Thank you very kindly. We have a quorum. We will proceed. I accept a motion to adopt the minutes of the previous. Moved by Councilman Jenkins, second by Councilman Everson, that the administrative conference of June 27th and the council meeting of June the 28th would be adopted. Are there any discussion on the minutes? If there are none, please vote. Motion passes 5-0 out of the chamber. Okay. All right, thank you. We're down to awards, recognition of distinguished guests, and communications. If it please the council, I have two that I would like to recognize at this time. But before I recognize my guests, I would like to make a motion that we would suspend the rules and take up resolutions 144 and 145.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Councilor Everson, that we will suspend the rules to take up two resolutions regarding my guests. Any discussion? If not, please vote. Okay. Mr. Clerk, if you please, will you read, I'm going to start with 145. If you would read 145, the resolution acknowledging Mr. Randy Johnson.
Resolution number 145 of 2016, a resolution to recognize the contribution of Randy Johnson as an advocate for the improvement of his neighborhood and the city of Shreveport and otherwise provided with respect thereto by Councilman Willie Bradford. Whereas on Sunday, June the 26th, 2016, Randy Johnson departed this life, and whereas Randy Johnson was a resident of the Cherokee Park neighborhood for more than 20 years, and whereas Randy Johnson spearheaded the establishment of the Cherokee Highland Park Neighborhood Association, and whereas Randy Johnson was elected president of the Cherokee Highland Park Neighborhood Association in 1994, and worked tirelessly until his untimely death to make the Cherokee Highland Park neighborhood a better place to live. And whereas, as president of the association, Randy Johnson led clean-up campaigns, fought for street improvements, sidewalk improvements, noise abatement, and the improvements to Mamie Hicks Park. And whereas Randy Johnson was an active citizen who participated fully in the political and civic affairs of his community and appeared before the City Council on many occasions as an advocate for the Cherokee Highland Park neighborhood. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shreveport in due, regular, and legal session convened, that Randy Johnson is specifically recognized for his advocacy for and contributions to the improvement of the Cherokee Highland Park neighborhood, and generally for being an active citizen who fought to bring positive change to Shreveport by improving the neighborhood in which he lived. Be it further resolved that the members of the City Council also express our sincere condolences to the family of Randy Johnson. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be signed by each member of the City Council and executed in duplicate originals, with one original presented to Randy Johnson's family and the other original filed in perpetuity in the office of the Clerk of Council for the City of Shreveport.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I would like to move that we adopt Resolution 145, recognizing Randy Johnson for his work as a advocate for neighborhood improvements.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt this resolution. Before we vote, let me just mention that one of the highest honors that we have as Americans is to volunteer. The service of volunteering is a special service. It gives us, those who are not elected officials or appointed public officials, the opportunity to make their presence known in a way that not everybody has that conscience of doing. Volunteering in your community, especially through neighborhood improvement opportunities, is honorable, is noble, and those of us who's on the council, as well as the previous councils, knew the work of Randy Johnson as he came forward to this body often to express concerns and advocate for the improvements of that Cherokee Park and Highland Park. And it's for that reason that I felt that it was very worthy and appropriate that we recognize Mr. Johnson at this time. It's just a tangible way of expressing to his family that we really appreciate it and we acknowledge the work of Randy Johnson. I may be offering another resolution in the future as a special recognition, but at this time, I wanted to express that we appreciate the life and the legacy that Randy Johnson left behind. So if there's no other discussion, please vote. I'm sorry.
I'll say one thing. You know, I didn't know Randy Johnson before I served on the last council and got to know him quite well. He and I had regular conversations about issues that, you know, frankly, he educated me on a lot of things I didn't know much about. And I certainly appreciated his perspective and his willingness to engage in issues that may or may not have been so, you know, frankly, so popular. And he wasn't afraid to, you know, speak his mind. And from my perspective, he was one that was well-reasoned in his approach and did offer something different than what we were hearing most of from other people. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman Jenkins, and I appreciate those remarks. Any other councilman want to make expressions?
Certainly want to also sort of echo that in a way that, you know, a lot of times we all represent different populations in different areas, and there are neighborhood leaders and leaders who represent certain parts of, you know, neighborhoods. And they don't always reach out to people beyond their own council person because, you know, they have the person that they're used to working with. And Mr. Johnson was really good about reaching out to other members of the council to tell you about things that might be going on in his part of the city that may or may not be going on in other parts of the city, and make sure that everybody understood. And that was you know, that was an extra step that a lot of people don't take that was well appreciated.
Thank you, sir. And we all know that he brought emotion and passion in his presentations to the council, which was not received negatively, but as received in the way that he expressed that his concern and love for his community. Okay, thank you. May we vote? Motion passes 6-0, one out of the chamber. Allow me, council members, to present this proclamation to his wife, Mrs. Sharon Johnson. Mr. Johnson, will you come forward? Let me present you with this proclamation signed by all council members. And,
I don't think it's a resolution.
Johnson, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Shreveport, we'd like to present you with this document expressing our appreciation and our love for the work of your husband, Brenda Johnson. Thank you, and we continue to be happy and have you in our thoughts. Thank you. Want to say anything? Okay, thank you very much. Let's give her a hand.
Okay. And I don't mean that intentionally. I didn't till afterwards. I got you.
Mr. Clerk, the second resolution I would like for you to read at this time is Resolution 145. The resolution will express the Morrison-Dixon Corporation our congrats on their 175th year in business. You may read, sir.
This is a resolution recognizing Morris and Dixon Company LLC's 175th year of business and to otherwise provide with respect thereto by Councilman Willie Bradford. Whereas Morris and Dixon Company LLC is a pharmaceutical wholesale company that has been in business since 1841 and has supplied pharmaceuticals from Shreveport to customers across the region. Whereas this closely held corporation has been owned and operated by the Dixon family for 4 generations with headquarters in Shreveport. And whereas this year marks the company's 175th anniversary, making it the second oldest family-owned business in the state of Louisiana. And whereas Morris and Dixon is the model of a successful family-owned business that helped build the economic base of our communities and still plays an important role in Northwest Louisiana. And whereas Morris and Dixon has continually made a significant and positive impact in the lives of its employees in this community by providing many quality, long-lasting jobs. And whereas Morris and Dixon will celebrate its 175th anniversary July the 15th through the 16th, 2016, at the Shreveport Convention Center as a part of its annual Mad Days of Summer Trade Show. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shreveport in due regular and legal session convened, that recognition and appreciation be given on this day to Morris and Dixon for their contributions to the lives of the citizens of this community. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be signed by each member of the City Council and executed in duplicate originals, one original presented to Morris and Dixon Company LLC, and the other original filed in perpetuity in the office of the Clerk of Council for the City.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I would like to move that we would adopt Resolution 144 recognizing Morrison Dixon. Moved by Councilman Jenkins, seconded by Councilman Bowman. Are there any discussion? Well, let me say this. I am proud for this moment for several reasons. The first reason is that I've been knowing the Morrison-Dixon family for over 50 years. My dad worked for Morrison-Dixon until his death. Not physically worked, but Morrison-Dixon, after my dad had a stroke in 1992, maintained my dad on their active payroll until for another 12 years. And my family would always be grateful for that. And then I grew up with Skipper, Mark, and Paul. I knew their father, I knew their grandmother, because of the long-term association we had with the family. The sons, Paul Jr. and Jacob, with their mother Beverly, who it didn't seem that long ago, Beverly, that you brought them to the clinic, and as it was Boy Scouts working on the Eagle badge, and it's just good to see you all today, how much you have grown, and the fact that the company has expanded so far from the days on Travis Street, right down the street here. Now they are out at the port where they have over 600 employees working and have expanded and doing such a great job, a great economic entity within this city. And I'm just proud to have this day as they celebrate their 175th year in operation as a family-owned business, which is tremendous. I think Paul would address this, it's the second largest in the state of Louisiana. And what can we say? So I just want to make those expressions. Mayor, please.
Even though I'm not a council member
Sure.
and not a voting member, I'd like to also applaud the Morrison-Dixon Company for having been in business in this city 175 years. I met Mr. Paul Dixon this afternoon and was just very impressed with some of the things that he shared with me about their company and the vision that his forefathers had and where they are today. And I just want to say congratulations. It is awfully refreshing to meet people like you who have been invested in this community and in this nation with a company as long as you've had. So God bless you, and thank you so much for what you do in our community.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Jenkins.
And I think we spent a lot of time discussing economic development in this community and opportunities. And I think the greatest thing for Shreveport is to be able to look at a Morrison-Dixon and say, hey, you can be successful here in Shreveport and be a difference maker. And I think that's the impactful message that I really want people to receive across the community is there are opportunities if you're willing to work hard in this city. And whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're, interested in working your tail off and being successful, there are opportunities here. And I think they're a great model for that and something that we really need to push that and try to replicate that model across the country.
Absolutely.
I agree completely, Councilman, and I thank you for those expressions. Councilman Evans.
Well, I'll just say, I want to also thank y'all for it looks like we're going to get a chance to learn a little bit more about the story here. And while I've been familiar with the company growing up, I don't know the family well or, that, but I know of the company and look forward to finding out more in detail about it. It's a tremendous story to have a family business that lasts 175 years. I mean, most people don't even know the history of their own family going back 175 years, much less have, maintained and operated a business for that time period. I mean, in today's tumultuous markets, things change, industry change, technology changes so much. To have the consistency of something that's been in one family for that long is just an incredible point of pride and something that, deserves celebration. And I look forward to finding out more about that story because that's sort of, the story of our community too. It's a community that's been around for a long time. We've had challenges, we've had changes in the outside market, and we've done things to survive and to do well. So looking forward to learning that, and thank y'all for being a part of that story.
Thank you, Councilman Everson. And you're going to read the book and you're going to be impressed with the...
I'm going on vacation next week too, so I'm going to
get
have
time to
something to
read.
read. Yes.
But, and I think Paul will make this expression also when he gets up that, was it the mayor, relatives or uncle or grandfather?
My great-grandfather.
Your great-grandfather was the mayor of Shreveport. Wow, okay. Okay, all right, which is great. It's been properly moved in second. Any more
Mr. Chairman,
discussion?
who made the motion and second? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Who made the motion
I
and second?
think I did and Jeff.
Jeff made the second.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? If not, please vote. Motion passes 6-0, one out of the chamber. Councilman Jenkins, will you join me in presenting the proclamation to the Dixon family? Harry, you want to join us?
I'd love to.
Young and shy and sit down.
175 years.
Only that generation gets the chance to.
Congratulations.
Gentlemen, on behalf of the resolution acknowledging your 75-year existence and celebration of the city of Shreveport. Wish you the best. Wish you the best. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Victor?
And I would like to yield up to 12 minutes for the representative to tell us a little bit about the company and the future.
Mayor Tyler, Chairman Bradford, Councilman, can't tell you how much of an honor it is for us to stand up here before you to receive this resolution, and most of all, the pride we feel in the parallel steps that City of Shreveport and Morrison-Dixon have taken since virtually both of their inceptions. There's no question that Shreveport is our home. Shreveport is where our resources in which we grow, and that is the good citizens, the good people that live here, that work with us to build on our future. And so we're proud to receive this resolution, and we're proud to be a part of Shreveport, and we're thankful for the people of Shreveport that have helped us get here. Chairman Bradford asked me to tell you a little bit about Morrison-Dixon. A long, long time ago, a fellow named J.W. Morris, John Worthington Morris, stepped off a steamboat. In fact, by January, and let me put my glasses on, I get it right, January 14th, 1841, John Worthington Morris, we know, was in business in Shreveport under the name of the Southern Drug Store. We don't know if he worked there or if he owned it, but he was there. And only 3 short years later, he was in business at 28 Texas Street and under the name of J.W. Morris Chemists. This Shreveport was a bustling frontier town. It was a tremendous place for opportunity. This new state of Arkansas, the Republic of Texas were next door, and there was a land rush on. 160 acres could be bought for $125 an acre. Shreveport was a crossroads of commerce in those earlier years of the 1840s. So J.W. Morris succeeded. He also succeeded as a community leader. We know that he became city tax assessor only 1 year after he came here in 1842. He was a city trustee, and he became Caddo Parish treasurer. He was a founder of First Presbyterian Church. In fact, the early church meetings were held in the back room of his store on Texas Street. He was joined in 48 by his brother T.H. Morris, and just as quickly as John Morris rose, he fell to yellow fever in Shreveport's first yellow fever epidemic. In 1853, his wife, his 2 children, and finally he died of yellow fever. But his brother took over the business and carried it through, and 20 years later, when the most serious yellow fever epidemic raced through Shreveport, T.H. Morris sent his wife and children, remembering what had happened to his brother's family, sent them away to the hills of Bossier Parish to hide from the epidemic while he stayed and treated the ill through his store here in Shreveport. The Shreveport Times, in a September article, stated that Shreveport commerce was effectively closed. The city could not function due to yellow fever. And by October, we have records that all of the Morrises were at a place called Dixon Crossroads in northern Bossier Parish. Well, that was a time when my great-grandfather, Gus Dixon, was 10 years old. And T.H. Morris had 3 sons, approximately the same age. So we can imagine that the partnership that occurred 16 years later, when Gus Dixon partnered with Alan Morris, must have started from those childhood relationships they had growing up together. And avoiding the tragedies and enjoying the boom years of the 1880s in Shreveport. By 1901, Gus Dixon bought out Alan Morris, who moved to Arkansas. And since that time, it's been in the Dixon family. Gus Dixon, as I said before, was mayor of Shreveport 2 terms, died in office. Brought a lot of progressive changes to Shreveport, brought Shreveport into the modern world, died in office as a prime of his life. How much more he could have contributed, we can only imagine. His son Claudius, my grandfather, was very active in the community, and I'll read one line from the article in the Shreveport Times when Claudius Dixon died, from November 4th, 1946. Red River navigation, which is soon to come, will be an endless memorial to Mr. Dixon. But he died, and navigation, as you know, didn't come until the 1990s, perhaps absent leadership and absent of the drive that he brought us very close to at that time. Claudius Dixon also was president of Morrison-Dixon, like his father, and carried it through the Depression, through the war, and like his father, unfortunately, died at only the age of 53. Company went through very rough times with no leader. My father, Alan Dixon, was only in his 20s when he came back from the war and picked up a business that was in shambles. It had been a very prosperous, both retail and wholesale, having retail outlets all over Shreveport, and unable to borrow money, he had to shut down those retail stores, and he put all of his energy and assets into the development of a wholesale business, which today has risen to be the 4th largest pharmaceutical wholesaler in the nation. We serve 14 states. We drive twice around the world every day with probably what we think is the largest trucking fleet in Louisiana, largest trucking company in Louisiana. We service over 1,000 hospitals, pharmacies, health clinics in the Mid-South region, and we have a information technology company, New Tech Computers, with a product, Pioneer RX, that is currently operating pharmacies in all 50 states. 2 years ago, 30% of all the new pharmacy systems installed in a pharmacy, private pharmacy, independent pharmacy, were Pioneer RX. We don't have current data. We believe it's as high as 50%. All of that software was developed right here in Shreveport. All of that software was written and developed by Shreveport people. Pioneer RX, who had only a couple of dozen employees a few years ago, now employs a little over 200. We have a new company, RX Local, whose purpose is to enter into yet another growing phase of the healthcare industry, and that is what's called specialty medications. Those are the medications that you see public entities wrestling with as to how to pay for those drugs that save lives, cure cancer, cure hepatitis, yet cost tens of thousands of dollars. RX Local purpose will be to allow patients the resources to find a way to afford those drugs and find a way for the payors of those drugs to see to it that their money's being spent wisely, that patients actually get well and take their medicine. Morrison-Dixon, we've received a lot of the question probably most commonly received during this 175th is, how does a company survive 175 years? The answer is, at least for Morrison-Dixon, going all the way back to John W. Morris's embrace of the community, through his brother's investment in a railroad so that he could have a regular supply of goods to Shreveport in the late 1860s, to our current efforts today, is not to try to address what you did yesterday and what you need today, but to look forward to what the needs of people are in the future and to meet those needs and maybe even get ahead of those needs so that you're in a position to deliver on those needs, to deliver that value into the future. That's Morrison-Dixon's success. Currently, as the company I mentioned, RX Local, has opened an office in Dallas, Fort Worth, which is a little bit of a sobering idea, with Shreveport as our home. Pioneer RX is already struggling to hire enough well-qualified information technology healthcare workers here in Shreveport. Our challenge, and this city's challenge, is to help us continue to develop a workforce so that these kind of good, high-paying jobs can remain in Shreveport. Now, thankfully, in the IT world, when I say we open an office in Dallas, that really doesn't mean a whole lot, because those jobs can be placed in Shreveport anytime that we've got the qualified people, the trained, educated people to fill those kind of jobs. But just as Shreveport and Morrison-Dixon have walked step by step through all these 175 years, we can continue to walk step by step to provide these kind of high-quality, well-paying, benefit-paying jobs that Shreveport needs to grow. We moved to the port in 2004. We didn't move there for navigation, obviously. We moved there because it's a great business park. Currently, Pioneer RX is not going to move to the port. The reason is because it's too long to drive to lunch. And that sounds silly, but it's not silly. You can't expect businesses to locate in an industrial park unless their employees want to locate there. And those employees need services, they need green space, and they need to live near their homes. So another challenge to you, and I encourage us to work together with the port, that as you look towards expanding the port, that you don't just expand concrete and steel, that you allocate those areas for living space, that you allocate those areas for retail space, and for the kind of lifestyle that will truly attract businesses to Shreveport. We can testify as to how great a home Shreveport is for a business. But when we ourselves have to come and say, we need a little bit more development, a little bit smarter development to be able to move our IT company to the port, then that's an opportunity. It's not a challenge, it's not a criticism, it's an opportunity for us to work together to achieve that, to not only bring Pioneer RX and all its program and staff and software development and healthcare information technology in the next 20 and 30 years to Shreveport developed economic development category, but to bring other companies along as well that are looking for places where they can find the kind of people who will help develop their companies. Because smokestacks and concrete does not build a business. People build a business. All that other stuff is just tools. It takes people to operate the tools, good people. And Morrison-Dixon has been fortunate to have the good people of Shreveport driving its success for 175 years. And that is where the root of what I say, we are honored to be here and receive this resolution. The basis of that is that we're honored to be noticed by our community because this community has done so much for this company throughout its history and its development. So I thank you very much. Hope you enjoy reading our history in the book. And any time that we can be of service, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before we move forward, was there any questions or any comments regarding Mr. Dixon's expressions? I mean, very impressive. And we heard you. We heard your challenge that we got to do more to attract those technology jobs and providing those apparatuses that those type of professionals need to, you know, to live what they would consider a quality, you know, the symphony, the, you know, all of these entities, and we're hoping that, Mayor, we can, as we look at going south,
Absolutely.
that those will be considered with, in conjunction, consultation with the Port Authority.
Absolutely.
We'd always welcome you back on Texas Street if
Absolutely.
y'all want to come back downtown. We Pioneer RX might like being close to some new restaurants. I got to. It's my district. I got to throw it out there.
We got a couple empty buildings for sure.
Down 3 times on Texas.
Better luck the 4th time.
Yep, I have a little affiliation with the Selber building that's looking for some tenants with very high-tech capability there.
To give you a reference where Marston-Dixon was downtown, it was the Remington Hotel. That was Marston-Dixon.
Wow.
I can remember back in the '60s just visiting there with my dad, and it was just wonderful environment back then.
Councilman Bradford, did you not know that your dad is in the book? CAO Crawford found
You
your
didn't find my dad in the
picture,
book.
Willie Bradford.
I'm excited
over
about reading the book.
And-
Thank
and
you,
so
thank you.
If you just turn to page 191.
191. Okay, I can't do it now because I'm.
I'll do
I
it
got a
for
book
you.
to read.
I got you.
But anyway, thank you. And I'll introduce the family. I'm sorry if you don't mind.
To my left, my wife Beverly, son Jacob.
His picture in there?
Paul Jr., our chairman of the board, my brother Skipper, and his son, Skipper, who's president of Sports South.
Right. Thank you. All righty.
Okay.
Skipper, August Allen Dixon the third. And they all, intertwine, Skipper, Mark, Paul, now Tripper and Paul Jr. and Jacob. So they all intertwined. But listen, I'm excited about seeing you guys. But thank you, and we appreciate you, and we wish you the best in your future success. We look forward to visiting with you over the weekend, Friday, Saturday. Some exciting things are going to be happening, and I think the council members will be made aware of that also.
Yeah. Watch the river, there's a rumor of steamboats coming back after 100 years.
Steve will come up the river. All right, we'll get on that boat. All righty, thank you kindly. Let's get back to the agenda item. Let's see, where are we here? Mayor, I'm sorry. You have any communications?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and members of the City Council. We have 2 or 3 announcements. Our first one today is we have in the audience members of the Mayor's Internship Program. This program will allow these young college students the opportunity to gain leadership skills necessary to prepare them for the next level in their careers and to learn how city government works. And actually, we put up applications for college students who live and reside in Shreveport, and we ask them to submit applications for positions to come in for 7 weeks in our city, so they get an opportunity to learn about city government. And from those applications, we allow our directors of each department to select students that they'd like to have serve as interns, and they get paid a little money to take back to college.
Whoa.
And at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Bradford, who is my governmental affairs assistant, if she will come and actually bring up 2 of these fine young interns, college students, and Shreveport residents, and we're so proud to have them here today, and we're going to ask the others to stand as these 2 speak to what they have been doing this summer. And again, let me just say congratulations, and we thank you for coming to become an employee of the city of Shreveport.
Madam Mayor, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is indeed my pleasure to introduce 2 of our leaders for our class. And what they will do is give you a brief overview of what's been going on, and they will introduce their classmates. This is a unique class because they voted on who their speakers will be. And that's a part of leadership, to make a decision on who you want to lead you based upon how your peers perceive you. So Jasmine is here, along with Anna, and they will tell you a little bit about themselves and what's been going on for the past 5.5, 6 weeks.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Mayor Tyler, Chairman Bradford, members of the City Council, and other distinguished guests. My name is Jasmine Cooper, a 2016 participant in the Mayor's Summer Internship Program. We, the interns, are very excited to be here with you today. We were interviewed by our department heads and or their designee before being selected to participate in the Mayor's Summer Internship Program. On behalf of my fellow interns and myself, we would like to extend a special thank you to Mayor Tyler for providing us with this opportunity and to the council for recognizing the importance of this program. The Mayor's Summer Internship Program is a 6 to 8 week initiative geared towards students with an interest in learning the day-to-day operations and functions of local and municipal government. Not only have we gained practical, hands-on experience, but we better understand that a key component to being a public servant is a desire to affect positive change in the community. This summer, we volunteered at the Sport Trend Dump the Pump event, toured a few of the city departments, and on this Saturday, we will complete our own community service project at A.B. Palmer Park, in keeping with the mayor's initiative, Don't Be Trashy, Keep It Classy, Shreveport is Home. Not only will we be cleaning and beautifying the park, but we will also bring continued awareness to the initiative through various social media outlets. So be on the lookout for our hashtag, Shreveport is Home and My Shreveport. At this time, my fellow intern, Anna Howe, will tell you a little bit about the mayor's interns.
I would like to start off by recognizing Jasmine Cooper. She attends Southern University in Baton Rouge. Her major is political science, and she is interning in our city courts. And the rest of you, would you please rise when I say your name? Next up is DeAndrea Cook. She attends Louisiana Tech University, majoring in psychology, and she is interning in our human resources department. Jatorian Davis attends Grambling State University. He is working on his master's in social work, and he is interning in workforce development or community development. Kayla Douglas attends University of Monroe, Louisiana at Monroe. She's majoring in biology, and she's working with our water department. Ryan German attends Louisiana Tech University. He's majoring in professional aviation and aviation management, and he is interning at the downtown airport. Lauren Green attends Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge. She's majoring in kinesiology, and she's interning with SPAR. Ashley Harris is attending Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge as well. She's majoring in accounting, and she's interning with Sportstrand. Sharonda Lewis graduated from Southern University in Shreveport. She majored in human services, and she's working with Shreveport Fire and Police Civil Service. Charity Throne attends Centenary College. She's majoring in business administration and management and finance, and she's interning with the Shreveport Regional Airport. Jonathan Robertson attends Southern University Law Center, and he is interning also with Shreveport City Courts. And I'm Anna Howell. I attend Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge. I'm majoring in mass communication, and I'm interning with the police department in the communications office. Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you, Anna, for that. As our time working for the city of Shreveport dwindles, we will never forget these experiences. We've established a lifelong network, made a few friends, and have developed a newfound appreciation for all public servants. As I close, I would be remiss if I did not say a special thanks to Ms. Bradford and Ms. Price, who've guided and helped us along the way. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and it is our sincere hope that the 2016 class has made the city of Shreveport proud. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much for those presentations. We have a great future ahead of us.
Yes, ma'am.
Our next announcement, we're very proud of our team at SPAR and SPD, Shreveport Police Department, and Shreveport Fire Department in the efforts to support the KTBS 4th of July event that had to relocate to Festival Plaza. Despite the rain and everything else, it turned out very, very, very well. We had thousands of people to visit our city on the weekend of the 4th, and we just had a great time downtown. And so we just had so much entertainment, a lot of food, various type booths and crafts. So everything turned out great. So I want to say thank you to those departments who really, truly made a difference. Our very own Shreveport Fire Officer, Derek Harris, has recently completed the Executive Fire Officer Program with the National Fire Academy. This is a great accomplishment, and I'd like to have Chief Wolverton, will you come up and present him with his diploma? Chief Wolverton asked if he could do that today because he's very proud of the people with the Shreveport Fire Department.
Certainly.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Chief Hall, you can come up too. Thank you. Honorable Mayor Tyler, Mr. Council Chairman, council members, thank you for the opportunity to recognize one of our fire officers today who has completed a great achievement in his career. Fire Prevention Officer Derek Harris was awarded the title of Executive Fire Officer on April 13, 2016. The Executive Fire Officer Program is a 4-year course given at the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland. The 4-year program consists of 4 graduate-level courses, with each requiring the completion of an applied research project addressing difficult and unique fire service-related problems in our communities. The course is designed to prepare future leaders of the fire service to be change agents, lifelong learners, and to seek to always find a way to improve services to our citizens. Fire Prevention Officer Harris has demonstrated hard work, commitment, and dedication not only to his department, but also to successfully completing the Executive Fire Officer Program, which will prepare him for future leadership positions on our department. Please allow me to read for you his diploma signed by the United States Fire Administrator, Ernest Mitchell, and National Fire Academy Superintendent, Kirby Keeper. United States Fire Administration, National Fire Academy. In recognition of successful completion of the requisite courses of study and applied research projects, the National Fire Academy, under the authority granted by the 111th Congress of the United States of America, and on recommendation of the faculty, confers the title of Executive Fire Officer upon Derek T. Harris, with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining, awarded this 13th day of April, 2016. Congratulations.
Well, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
On behalf of the, I'd like to say thank you to the mayor and city council, former fire chief and current chief administrative officer Brian Crawford, Chief Wolverton, Chief Dias, and Chief Hall. I want to say thank you. I at least want to acknowledge my family as well. I have my mother is out in the audience. Gloria Harris, and my wife and my daughters and my siblings and nieces and nephews. But this journey goes a long way back. It starts all the way back in the beginning when my mom and my dad focused on education in the home. And I cannot speak enough about my mother having lost a mom and dad at an early age, and even lost a husband to gun violence. And when you look at the times that we live in right now, and to raise 5 children and her siblings in that household, and growing up in a neighborhood that was violent, and to be able to come out of that and to be able to be blessed with the extended family of the fire service, and to be able to do this job and to be able to help people, and to be for people to invest in me, to go off to the National Fire Academy. The support that I've received here in Shreveport is has been very special, to say the least. And my wife, she encouraged me during this process. It was very challenging, and but at the end of the day, the victory is very sweet. So I'd like to say again, thank you for sharing and investing in me, and I promise to do my best to make Shreveport, the city that it is, a great place to live. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just want to shake your hand. Thank you so much. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief Warburton. One last announcement,
Take
Mr.
your time,
Chairman.
man.
We continue to serve our citizens with numerous events. Since we last met, the city has supported several events, including Farmers Market and Festival Plaza, Movies and Moonbeams featuring Open Season Scared Silly at Columbia Park. Free Fridays Forever featuring AJ and the Two Tone Band at Red River District. Free Fridays Forever featuring Po' Boy McCoy at Red River District. Summer Fun at Kirby's Park. I Work Harder football camp at Independence Stadium, and the list goes on. Each weekend, each week, we have so many wonderful family-related activities in our city, and we try to make sure that our citizens are aware of many of these activities. They are usually out there in the media, but we try to say them each time we meet at City Council so people can know that this is a great place to call home. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Those are our announcements.
Thank you, Mayor, for
Yes.
those announcements and those acknowledgements. Before we move forward with our legislation, if any of our guests, visitors need to step out, you may be excused. And thank you again, Dixon. Mr. Dixon Paul, did you have a book from my mother? Can I get it? You got one? You got it with you? Okay, I get it when I see you Thursday.
We're gonna loan you stuff.
How about that?
I'll finish mine and give it to her when she
I have it by the end.
I love it.
Okay. Wow, okay. Yeah, some, I got that too.
Is that your dad?
That's my dad. Look at that. How about that? I'm excited. Mr. Mother's gonna be excited when she see that too.
Saw the resemblance and it stopped me on the page. I said,
Wow.
"Wow, Councilman Bradford."
Yeah, I mean, you got time over there to look at the pictures.
Yeah, right.
Thinking that's why the rest of us over here, we're working, but I got your stuff.
Let's get back to
I mean, you get it, when you give me a layup like that, I just gotta take that
It's a
chance.
council meeting. It's not an administrative meeting.
He means we need to ask harder questions. He's wanting some more.
All right.
I thought y'all ask any more of us, okay?
But I appreciate the
I know you like that
communication.
one though, don't you?
Oh, yes. But I mean, all of the recognition that was done today, I thought was very, very, very well deserved, Mayor.
Yes,
The
sir.
students, the interns, the fire accomplishment, all great accomplishment. And I'm proud that they was brought forward to this meeting. Very well, very, very proud of Shreveport. Okay, as we move forward, we are down to reports. Property standard report. Anyone have any questions or comments, inquiries regarding our property standard department? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Green. We should have, and I think we did, receive our revenue collection implementation and our security bond program report via electronic means. So those have been submitted. Thank you for those, Mr. Crawford. There's no public hearing on the agenda today, so we're down to adding legislation to the agenda. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have one ordinance number 70. It amends the 2016 budget for the general fund. This covers the IGT payments to the managed care organization, which will allow the city to participate in the managed care UPL program. We need this money to participate, which will be a great return for the city.
I think we ascertained that on yesterday, so before we add to the agenda, and those in the audience, this legislation is being asked to be added to the agenda because for reasons beyond our control was not submitted prior to our releasing of the agenda. So I have to ask if there's anyone here who would be opposed to this, opposition of this being added to the agenda. Is there anyone here who is in opposition? Is there anyone here who would like to speak on behalf of adding this to the agenda? Anyone here who would like to speak in support of this being added to the agenda? Seeing no commentary, what is the pleasure of the council?
So moved to add to the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Everson, that ordinance number 70 will be added to the agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 5 to 0, 2 out of the chamber. Thank you, council members. You may, let's see, where are we now? Public comments on items related to legislation on the agenda. I have one. Sammy Mears, you want to speak on
$138.
138?
Yes.
Okay, you may do so. State your name and your address for the record, sir.
Sammy Mears, 1901 Centenary Boulevard, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71101. For the past few weeks, I've been passing by over on Olive Street, and I saw the sign that said Shreveport Renewal Friendship House coming up, and I have just seen that they've been working on this over at 617 Olive Street. And I am very, very pleased to see this going on in our community. It makes me feel very good because just about a year ago or so, over at another friendship house that was over on the corner of Highland and Creswell, I believe it was, I had gone over there for a little get-together that they had, plus they were giving away some bingo prizes, I believe it was, or maybe just a drawing. But I got an invitation to go to that friendship house at the community renewal, and I enjoyed that night when they had giveaways for door prizes. It was the first time I ever got to attend one of those, which I never did, but they also had a good supper that night. Don't remember what it was that they had, but since that was the first time I got to go, it was a happy moment for me. And then to find out now that they're building a new Community Renewal Friendship House over on 617 Olive Street. This is great. Because by the time they get this done, if anything gets to take place there, all I have to do is just walk over from Centenary Boulevard, just right up Olive Street past the Highland Center, and over there to that Community Renewal Friendship House and get to be a part of what they have going there. They might have door prizes, they might have a good supper there, and I'll look forward to that. And you get to meet maybe some new people that I've gotten to know in the Highland area for a number of years. I think this is going to be a great thing for our community in the Highland area to have another Community Renewal Friendship House. Makes me feel really good. And by the way, if I do get to visit anyone there, I can tell them that I saw the fireworks on television on July 4th. And they'll probably say, why weren't you there at the Festival Plaza? And all I have to say is I didn't get transportation, so the next best thing to do is just to watch it on TV. I'll get to tell them at this friendship house. I think it's going to be a wonderful thing, and I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Clerk.
We're on the confirmation of appointments.
Yes, sir.
The mayor has made 3 appointments, and they're on your agenda for confirmation. To the Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board, Captain Michael Covert Sr., to the Human Resources Board, Mr. Billy Casey, and to the Housing Authority of Shreveport, Mrs. Shirley Pearson.
So move for adoption.
Moved by Councilman Flores, seconded by Councilman Bowman, that we will receive these, confirm these appointments. Is there any discussion? If not, please vote. Confirmation is approved, 5 to 0, 2 out of the chamber. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, council members.
Mr. Chairman, we're now under consent agenda legislation. We had 3 items on the agenda. Resolution 144 and 145 have been adopted, so we have 1 remaining, Resolution 143.
So moved for adoption of consent agenda.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Flory, that the adoption of this consent agenda 143 Pacific would be adopted. Any discussion? No discussion, please vote. Motion passes 5 to 0, 2 out of the chamber. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we're now under regular agenda legislation. These are resolutions on second reading and final passage. Resolution 124 waives the effect of certain provisions of Section 78-359 of the Code of Ordinances relative to the length of a proposed new boat slip at 2905 Municipal Pier Road.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Flores, seconded by Councilman Everson for adoption of 124. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber. You may continue.
Resolution 135 authorizes the institution of expropriation proceedings against certain property.
135 moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Flory. Any discussion on 135? No discussion, please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Resolution 137 declares the intention of the city to issue taxable water and sewer revenue bonds.
Second.
137 moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Corbin for approval. Any discussion? Please vote. Passes 5-0, two out of the chamber. You may continue.
Resolution 138 authorizes the waiver of all permit and inspection fees.
Moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Bowman for the adoption of 138. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber. Continue.
Resolution 139 authorizes the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Port of Caddo, Bossier, Parish of Caddo, and Caddo Levy.
Moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Corbin. Any discussion on 139? Please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Mr. Chairman, we're now in the introduction of resolutions, and we have one, Resolution 146, authorizes the waiver of all fees, permit, inspection, tap, and impact fees required for the construction of a 50-unit affordable housing elderly development within the city of Shreveport.
So moved for introduction.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Bowman for introduction. Any discussion regarding the introduction of this legislation? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Mr. Chairman, we're now in the introduction of ordinances. We have two. One is an add-on. The one that was on the agenda is 69. It amends the 2016 capital improvements budget. And ordinance 7, which was added, it amends the 2016 budget for the general fund. This concerns the managed care organization.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Flory, seconded by Councilman Everson for introduction of 69 and 70. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber. You may continue.
We're now in the ordinances on second reading and final passage. Ordinance 59 amends and reenacts Section 62-78 of the code relative to recreation fees and otherwise provides with respect thereto.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Everson for the adoption of 59. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber. Continue.
Ordinance 60 amends Section 62, Article 1, Division 2 of the code pertaining to the Department of Assembly and Recreation, Public Assembly and Recreation.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Everson, second by Councilman Corbin for adoption. Any discussion? Seeing none, you may vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Ordinance 61 amends Section 26-106 of the code.
61 moved by Councilman Everson, second by Councilman Flory. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Ordinance 62 amends the 2016 budget. This funds some police vehicles.
Moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Bowman for the approval of 62. We want that to happen.
Double.
Any discussion?
He wants it to happen.
You may vote. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Ordinance 63 amends the 2016 budget for the general fund. This is a technical amendment to budget existing funds in the right place.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Everson. Any discussion on 63? None. Please vote. Motion passes 5-0. Two out of the chamber.
We're now into ordinance 64. There was discussion yesterday about removing this from the agenda.
Move to,
It's administrative wishes, yes.
okay. I move that we will remove this from the agenda.
Second.
Moved by the chairman, seconded by Councilman Everson, that 64 would be removed from the agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Ordinance 65 is a zoning matter C-44-16. It rezones property located in northwest corner of Cody and Herndon Street.
Ordinance 65 has been moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Flory. Any discussion? If not, please vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Ordinance 66 is a zoning matter, case number C-45-16. It rezones property located on the east side of North Market, 570 feet south of Nelson Street, from B3 to I-1 Light Industry District.
Moved by the chair,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Everson for the adoption of 66. Any discussion? You may vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Ordinance 67 is a zoning matter C-46-16. It rezones property located on the north side of East Kings Highway.
Ordinance 67 has been moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Flory. Any discussion? Seeing none, you may vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Ordinance 68 is a zoning matter C-52-16. It rezones property located on the south side of Southern Loop, 700 feet west of Norris Ferry Road, from B2E Neighborhood Business Extended Use District to B2 Neighborhood Business District.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Corbin,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Bowman. 68 for approval. Any discussion? You may vote. Motion passes 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Mr. Chairman, those are all of the items on the regular agenda. We are now under table legislation. There was discussion yesterday about removing ordinance number 46, that's number 3, from the table for advertisement and consideration for adoption at the next meeting.
At the pleasure of the council.
I would like to make that motion to remove number 46 of 2016 from table legislation.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Flory, that ordinance number 46 will be removed from the table, to be proceeded with the proper advertising. Any discussion? Please vote. Removal of 46 from the table has been approved, 5-0, two out of the chamber.
Mr. Chairman, I don't believe there are any appeals to be considered today.
No appeals to be considered today. Thank you, Mr. Clerk, for your
Reports
service.
from officers, boards, and committees.
Reports from officers and boards or committees. Are there any reports from any officers, board, or committees? I don't see any, so we'll move forward with the clerk's report.
Mr. Chairman, the clerk has no report today.
Oh. Don't we have an efficient clerk? I mean, this guy is on the ball, I tell you. I love him. He take care of business. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We're moving right along. Additional communications. Madam Mayor.
None, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Any council members? I see Councilman Corbin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is probably something that affects the council district that I serve more than other council members. It may spill over into Councilman Jenkins a little bit. Memorial Day and July 4th, both Monday holidays, and city workers had the day off and didn't pick up garbage. Yet recycling ran on those holidays. And I know that we put an ad in the paper and we send out press releases. The feedback I get from people in my district is, it's a holiday and I didn't put my can out. I never saw the notice. I'd like to know if we could have some discussion with Pratt and Republic about why they can't adhere to the same schedules that we have. It's a big issue in Southeast Shreveport, and that's the area of town where Pratt has told us we have some of the highest participation.
Right.
And I don't like things going on that would give people a reason to opt out of the recycling program.
Absolutely.
That even impacts, I mean, I'm Monday
When it
pickup.
trickles down.
I'm Monday pickup even in the, northern part of Highland, so.
Right,
I
and,
mean,
we'll
it's a big
have
area.
we'll have some more discussion. We've had, many discussions with Pratt, and, we're gonna go to the next level at this point, but we're gonna have some other discussions, because we want people to continue to recycle. We think it is the right thing to do, and, so, we're gonna be on it.
Thank you, Mayor, and I thank you for that observation. We definitely want to be consistent. But people usually take out both at the same time. Yeah. Okay. Any council members have any communication other than the councilman? Seeing none. Get down to public comments from the audience on items that are not on the agenda. Sammy Mears.
Sammy Mears, 1901 Centenary Boulevard, Shreveport, 71101. I'm back, but for a good reason. Just to let everyone know that today has been a very good day for me, as Don Hanley and his family and myself, we got to go out to CC's Pizza to celebrate in 3 days since you mentioned July 15th. It'll be my 21 years on living at M110 over at Oak Meadows Apartments. That's what I'm celebrating and very happy about. So we went today, we had good pizza, and I told Don and the others, tidbits off my pepperoni, because I know that I like pepperoni. So Don said, what? I said, bits off my pepperoni. But we all had a real good time together and had a good time celebrating. So his grandson, his wife, and the family and other church members from Grace Baptist Church and myself all had a good time together. And I feel like this was really something special for me to enjoy. And then on the way over here, Don was asking me what would I talk about on the agenda as far as on the agenda. I said, Don, I don't even know what's on the agenda till I read it. He thinks I have a crystal ball, and I know that I don't have no crystal ball. And I ain't no fortune teller, and I sure don't look like no gypsy. But the thing is, I was going to mention, as I mentioned earlier, about I'm happy that we have a new community renewal house coming up. And also, I did want to say that so far I'm getting a little bit of feedback help from MDA, and thank you, Jeff, for the help earlier. I appreciate that very much. And so, Jerry, I guess that you and Michael might be the only ones that are left at the moment.
Well, not that he's pressing
Not
you.
to be called out.
It's for a good cause, though.
Hey up, hey up.
Yeah, that's if you could. Just to let you know. But I wouldn't forget the lady one time that gave me $5 and just said go away. So that was the easiest tip that I ever made. That's one tip I just will not forget. On my way to Channel 3 one time when they were doing it at Channel 3, this lady came out and said, is that for the telethon? And I said, yes. She said, here, this is $5. Go away. Shoo! Shoo! So I looked back, she said, shoo. I said, well, shoo to you too. So anyway, that was just one easy tip I won't forget. $5, go away. But I've been helping out now, and this is going to be 28 years for real, and this is no joke. This is going to be 28 years that I'll be giving to them, even though they don't televise anymore. And they have been very much a special part of my life. And I wouldn't forget, Jerry, your mom even saw me one year in 2010 when I was talking about it, and she said, Sammy, I saw you on there, and you did a great job.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share that with you because she mentioned that to me, and I said, well, I appreciate that very much. So I look forward to helping again this year. It's a great cause, and I love it. And of course, if I didn't help MDA, it'd be just like trying to baptize a cat, and you can't do that.
Thank you, Mr. Mears, for your service with the MBDA fundraising. Thank you.
I got you.
Pastor Mays.
To the council,
Please state your
and
name
to
and-
others.
and your address.
Pastor Mays, 10398 Buncombe Road, Bethany, Louisiana, 71007. I came before you, first of all, to just thank the people of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as I was down there. I want to thank the governor and the seriousness that they take to such matters of police misconduct. It was a beautiful event that we had at the church. It was beautiful for us meeting with the governor, and Mike, who is the NAACP president down there, had a chance to spend a lot of time with him, and we having a rally. We have reached out to individuals to let them know that we are in solidarity. The only reason why the label Black Lives Matter is put on there is because black lives are being affected at the hands of not all police officers, but some police officers that choose to use excessive force. So I'm glad that the governor spoke to that. He got it. He told us that he has family members that are police officers. So like him, we are not trying to condemn any police officers, but we are having a rally on Saturday at 4 o'clock, and we have made everyone conclusive. We have African-American pastors that's coming, and as well as community leaders that are coming, and it's just going to be a great event for all of us to come together in solidarity and in prayer. That's our message, that all lives do matter. My brother-in-law works on the police department there in Dallas. On my way back, I found out the event that took place there in Dallas, and so this is the purpose of us putting on this event. And I want to thank you personally, Chairman. I didn't get a chance to fax the information over to you because we had to set all this in place. But I thank you for your consideration as being a council member that takes the opportunity to serve everyone. You responded very quickly to my request, and I appreciate that. I'm going to fax the information over to you. I have some of it today, but I'll be able to get that to you. But I appreciate your response, and I thank you very much for that. But we've been talking about this for quite some time, and just like in Baton Rouge, they told us that we weren't expecting that to happen. So we was trying to at least offer some insight so that it would not happen here again in the city of Shreveport. That was my purpose of coming down here. But again, once again, we all are in this together. The people that coming out, we have made it perfectly clear with every group that is coming out. This is not an event to bash anybody. This is an event of unity. And those who believe in this city and represent this city will be there. Those that don't and have other previous engagements, we understand that other things are on your schedule and you got to do that. But everyone that we have spoke to on both sides of the spectrum that's going to be there, they said it's a very important meeting. We're going to have young people there. Me and you had spoken on that, hearing the young voice. We're going to have them there, and we're going to also have others there. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your concern to the matter from which I called you about.
Councilman, thank you, and we certainly do not have any opposition to your efforts in showing solidarity for those that have lost life. We spoke yesterday amongst ourselves as well as the mayor and the police chief, and as you know, our responsibility is directly to the citizens of this city. And we feel comfortable where we are, and we feel comfortable that in the event of anything unusual happening here, we are prepared to respond in a way that we think that will make our citizens their safety and their concern, their well-being will be addressed. So hopefully the event on Saturday will go well, and we wish you the best. And thank you for your efforts.
We also got safety precautions to share, and others that have agreed to be there for safety purposes for anybody that won't feel uncomfortable. So all that's been taken care of.
Okay, mighty fine. Thank you. Good luck on your efforts. Okay. Mr. Craig Lee?
Craig Lee, 1035 Eustis Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. Great District B. Jeff Everson, City Council person. This past weekend, I was looking at the news, Mayor Tyler, and, well, actually, ESPN, and Serena Williams won Wimbledon. She is the greatest tennis player of all time. Her and her sister, Venus, they won the Wimbledon females doubles match. They're the greatest female tandem of all time. And their creation is rooted right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Their father, Richard Williams, is from Cedar Grove, Mr. Fleury. I didn't know if you know that. As I've been looking at all of the issues throughout the country, as Black Lives Matter protests have been going on, it struck me that one of the biggest issues in the city of Shreveport deals with the intellectual brain drain that has happened in this city that caused Richard Williams to venture to Los Angeles, California, because of the hardcore racism here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And Johnny Cochran and Juanita Powell Barranco, one of the wealthiest people in the world, her and her husband, they own banks and communities in Atlanta. And I looked at all of this intellectual capital that has left the city of Shreveport, and I remember a slogan that Mayor Hightower had, "Bring them home." And I wanted to say to the council today and to the mayor, as I see these young people protesting throughout the country, and I don't have a problem with it. On Sunday, some young people protested around the courthouse, and one of the parents asked me to come down and talk to the young folks. And 9 of them were college students, 2 were non-college students, and 1 was a high school student. They didn't even know when the city council meetings were being held. I actually asked them to attend today. Their mothers probably got scared for them to come down, but I challenged them to get involved beyond just walking with signs and learn the how this process actually works. They didn't know the city council meeting, the parish commission meeting, the school board meetings. And I thought about Keith Hightower's slogan. And so we have a serious game that's being played out here in the United States. And I'm going to tell you, there's some serious disgruntled people out here, black, white, other. And the police brutality issue is just one segment of it. But it gets back to something that Willie and I've been fighting for the past.
Any objections to Mr. Lee getting some additional minutes? No? Seeing none, you may continue.
For the past 21 years, and that's economic parity, economic justice. And if you now go back and you start the clock at 1555 and come up to 1865, that period known as chattel slavery, and we go from 1866 to 1964, that period known as Jim Crow segregation, and we take out 10 years to transition from Jim Crow segregation to 1974, from 74 to now 42 years of integration. That's 418 years of direct hardcore oppression against black people and other ethnic groups, and only 42 years of integration. There's some serious, deep-rooted issues that have been glossed over, and what you see now going on in Dallas and in Baton Rouge and in Minnesota and throughout this country can easily happen in the city of Shreveport. We must be vigilant to creating economic parity opportunities and community development opportunities in the city of Shreveport. That's why we're focused on elevating the brand name of C.C. Antoine and other entities to give young black folks opportunity, not only from symbolism, but substance. And the substance will come by way of contract procurement opportunities. Substance will come by way of cultural diversity curriculums in the public school system. Substance will come by way of this council and the parish commission and the school board being vigilant to looking at race realistically and not from a denial standpoint. And as I, go to my seat, I can tell you I had served on a panel with the YWCA on eliminating race. And it's very disturbing. I was one of only 2 black folks in there and there were no white males, there were all white females. And of the 6 white females, all of them were in denial of white racism, white supremacy in this country. And it's shocking because in order for us to deal with this realistically, we have to be willing to tell the truth. And if we're not going to tell the truth, we're going to keep on putting icing on horse manure. And we're going to start to think, oh, this looks nice. But underneath the icing, there is some serious issues that are going on. And when now something happens between the police and individuals in the community, now you have this explosion because people are disenfranchised, they're disenchanted, and we, those of us who have intellectual capital that are here, we must come up with the solutions to remedy this. So I just wanted to challenge you guys to constantly work harder so that we can create economic opportunities and move this city forward so we do not end up getting into this major situation. We've already gone through one with Marquise Husband, and we don't need any more. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lee, let me just say this, and I think you and I have known each other for at least 22, 23 years.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying, and we've had this discussion regarding there is, regardless of what others may say, that there has been a intellectual blame, especially within the African American community of Shreveport. We lost a lot of talent over the years because of lack of opportunity in Shreveport. But you said something that I wanna echo, and that is to my colleagues as well as to Shreveport. If we cannot honestly and openly and candidly talk about our problems in Shreveport,
absolutely,
then we are a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to take our heads out of the sand and look at some of the challenges that we face. And we can do it intelligently and talk about them and come up with some solutions or at least some proposals that we think that we can offer to make this city a better city. I'm getting good vibes from this council. I'm proud of this council. I think our mayor could attest that her administration, in regards to procurements to minorities, has increased tremendously over the last 15 months, 16 months. Okay. And I don't like to use it, but sometimes I have to say that we have to, when something is not done or something left behind or something has been neglected, the successors of that would have to take that
Absolutely.
and move with it sometimes before we can actually get to what we came here to do ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last year and a half that we've been in office, I can say that I haven't experienced any ill will toward race relations or our demographics, but I will say that there's a lot of understanding that we need to gain from each other, and that once we continue to dialogue, then we will, I think, be more understanding and open to things that we need to do to make our city a better city. I feel comfortable with where we are in Shreveport. There were some days that you and I was on the streets that we was advocating for things that never happened. But now we see ourselves in a more better position to help forward some of these things. And I appreciate what you're doing because you're keeping a sector of our community conscious through your effort through the C.C. Antoine celebrations, the continual celebrations. The one that you had back in like in the spring, I thought it was great. You're getting ready to celebrate one in August, September?
September.
Okay. And they're growing, and they're becoming very conscious tools to help spread the diversity of this city through the efforts that you're making. So, and that's what I appreciate about you more than anything else, that you may come and express yourself, but when you leave here, you're working to make the things that you express happen. You just don't talk about it, you be about it, and I appreciate you for that.
Absolutely.
So I want you to know that you're welcome to engage this body at any time, as well as you're encouraging those young people to come. A lot of what we're thinking about and talking about is what we think about and what we talk about. We need some young people. We need some outside citizens to come in and express to us some of their concerns. So we welcome, and this is the opportunity. This is the place on our agenda that we allow any citizen to come before us and say whatever they would like to say, and a lot of it doesn't go on deaf ears. We listen.
And Councilman Bradford, that's the unfortunate reality, that the young people don't understand how the process works, so they get frustrated because they haven't been taught. And so, though they are not here today, I will reach back out to them. And what I will also say, as you were articulating your points, there was a post on Facebook, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about Shreveport being the ranked number 3 in the country as it relates to young people becoming wealthy. And to see the negative comments, a few people were like, wow, who weren't from Shreveport. But to see some of the people from Shreveport who live in other cities start to hate on Shreveport. And so I had to go to school on a few of them and let them know that the article is really more about entrepreneurship at this moment than jobs, because you got to have businesses to create employment opportunities. So if you're looking for jobs, yeah, Dallas, Houston, more established economies will be that. But to just hear the negative rhetoric, and one of the entities that complained used to be employed by the city of Shreveport. And I thought it was very interesting, but I close with this. If we can't even represent positivity for our city, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, if you're at a donut shop or whatever, we're in trouble. But I tell people all the time, no matter how many challenges that we have in the city of Shreveport, I tell people there's not another city in America that is 55 to 60% black. You have a pretty cohesive race relation, but our geographical positioning, our infrastructure, and the possibilities for entrepreneurship are outstanding, because you have over 25 million people within a 5-hour drive time of Shreveport. So you don't have to live in New York City or LA. You can actually live in this place. But again, I know that we can grow this city population-wise easily by 300,000 over the next 20 years and sustain it, unlike Baton Rouge, unlike New Orleans or Lafayette, who don't have the same infrastructural assets that we actually have. So I'm pleased, but I'm constantly challenging people to see the positive aspects of the city. And if we start doing the things that we need to do, and we start to grow grassroots entrepreneurs, and they become financially independent, and they hire people, and we can get some of the folks that have come out of prison to now become entrepreneurs, and they hire people. Now we can brand Shreveport as C.C. Antoine saw this city back in the middle 1800s and late 1800s, so that we can, actually make our city something positive. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Okay, are there any other remarks or communications from council members? Is there anything else that need to come before this body? If there's none, This meeting is adjourned.
That's great.